Hi, guess who I am? Okay, do you know who I am? I'm a hermit crab. I'll tell you my story. Now, when I get too big, guess what I have to do? I have to leave my shell and go find a new shell to live in. So I have to run around with no clothes on, basically. So I have to find a new shell. And then I go in that shell, and that's my home. And for protection, I usually carry my shell around with me. So I don't have to worry about getting eaten up by things. Now, can you help me find my closest relative here? Okay, if you think you see my closest relative, you say crab. Okay, let's find a crab. Here's a crab. That's my closest relative here. All right, now we're gonna find some of my other friends. So I found my closest relative. See this red crab here? He's got those pincers like me, and he also lives in this protective shell. And they're related to insects. Did you boys and girls know that? Crabs, lobsters are related to insects. They're called arthropods. So let's find our next friend. Now, remember, this animal's called a fish, but it's not a fish. Remember who that is? Okay, well, I don't see any jellyfish here. Who could that be? Let me see. Who's a fish, but it's not a fish? Let's take a look. Oh, I know who it is. This animal. This is a starfish, boys and girls. Starfish are not fish. Now, what's special about starfish? Well, if you cut one in half, guess what happens? They grow new parts. So if you cut off this leg or arm, the starfish will grow a new one. So fishermen used to catch starfish, cut them in half, throw them back in the ocean, and there'd be more starfish than before. Isn't that incredible? Starfish are amazing. And guess how starfish eat? On this side of a starfish is his mouth. What he does, he goes to a shelled animal, and he opens up the animal's shell, he takes out his stomach, and puts his stomach inside the animal and digests the animal. That's how starfish catch their food. It's kind of strange. Okay, let's find our next friend. This animal has an amazing story. The mommy comes to land only one time in her life to lay her eggs. She goes to a beach, that's where she was born, and she has to lay her eggs in the sand. Do you know who that is, boys and girls? Let's find the animal. Oh, here it is. The sea turtle. Here's a sea turtle, boys and girls. So the mommy has to dig in the sand, lay her eggs, and then she goes back to the ocean, and she never sees her children being born from the eggs. And out comes a little baby turtle from the eggs. Here's a little baby turtle. And they swim to the ocean, and if they survive long enough, this turtle, if it's a female, will come back to the same beach where she was born and start that whole life cycle again. Amazing. Okay, who's our next friend? Now, there are animals here that some people think are as smart as dogs. Could you guess who that could be? What animal here is as smart as a dog? Well, you won't believe it. It's the octopus. Now, octopus are very smart. Now, they don't have bones, but they're the smartest animal without a backbone. They're called invertebrates. And how do we know octopus are smart? Well, one day they did an experiment. They were watching this octopus in the aquarium. And then at night, the octopus would sneak out of its aquarium and catch a fish in the other aquarium. And it only did that when the people left. So they put a camera to catch the octopus sneaking around in the laboratory, catching fish in the other aquariums. Very smart animal. And how many tentacles does an octopus have? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tentacles. Now this octopus is missing tentacles. So who can tell me how many tentacles is this octopus missing? Let's count his tentacles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's missing 3 tentacles. That's good for math, boys and girls. Now, here's a science joke, boys and girls. Why are fish so smart? Well, fish are smart because they swim in schools. Here's a school of fish. Let's meet Nemo. Here's Nemo. And here are some of his coral friends. These fish live in a coral reef. Beautiful coral reef fish. Now, boys and girls, don't worry about the names of all the fish. There's over 30,000 kinds of fish in the ocean. It's a lot of fish to learn, all right? But we've learned that some animals are called fish and they're not fish, like the jellyfish and the starfish. Now, there's one animal left that lives in Montreal, boys and girls, but it's called a mollusk. All right, now mollusks live in shells. Let's show you a mollusk. Here's a snail. Hi. Now, if you find an animal like me without a shell, I'm called a slug. Have you ever seen slugs? They're kind of slimy. But I live in a shell. That's my protection. Now, what's special about snails is that I'm a daddy and a mommy at the same time. So if I meet another daddy or mommy snail, we can have families. All right, boys and girls? Kind of strange. Now, there's something wrong with me, though. If you look carefully, you see my eyes? They're not in the right place. They're supposed to be up here on top of these things, boys and girls. So sometimes when you buy a puppet, they don't put the puppets together properly. So make sure you know exactly what the animal is supposed to look like. Okay?